episode of Beyond the Front Door is brought to you by Peak Properties in Cheyenne, Wyoming. With over 75 years of combined experience in real estate, it's our goal to help clients buy and sell and save by providing the information you want and the professional services you expect. Let us help you with your residential, commercial, HUD, income-producing properties, as well as vacant land and rental needs. To learn more, visit www.sellcheyenne.com. Okay. Welcome. You're listening to Beyond the Front Door podcast with Lindee and Rhea, and we are real estate agents here in Cheyenne, Wyoming, and we bring you real estate stories that inspire you, make you laugh, maybe cringe, maybe cry. Come on in. We put the real in real estate.
Yep. We've had a little bit of crying today.
We have, so we hope to not make you cry. You're like, yeah, right. Our guest today is Markum King, and Markum and his wife, Christy King, own CrossFit Cheyenne and Lumen Athletics.
Correct.
And we are really excited because I have worked with Markum and Christy in buying their personal home and then also the commercial building that their business is in.
Yeah.
And so why don't you start by just telling us about yourself, your name, your family, what you do for a living, how long you lived in Cheyenne, whatever you want to share.
So my name is Markum King. I've been living in Cheyenne since 2012. Married, 2 kids, 2 boys, 13-year-old, 11-year-old, soon to be 14 and 12 in January and February, respectively. I came to Cheyenne in 2012, was at the Cheyenne Police Department for 10 years, recently left the police department. Now I am a small business owner here in town with CrossFit Cheyenne and Lumen Athletics.
Where did you come from?
I was in the military, and I came from Havelock, North Carolina, or Cherry Point, North Carolina. I was in the Marine Corps, did a total of 8 years in the Marine Corps, did 4 Reserve, and 4 active. Sorry, my phone is going off.
That's okay.
Probably should have. It's a good song. Right?
What song is that?
That is Kaleo.
Okay.
It's Kaleo Free the Slave. It's a great song if you don't know it.
Okay.
Check it out.
So is that what brought you to Cheyenne then?
Yeah. So I was getting out of the military. I knew I wanted to get in law enforcement. I knew I wanted to be in the Rocky Mountain area. So I was putting in applications in Colorado specifically, and I wound up seeing an opening here in Cheyenne, applied for it, got it. Here I am. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
We're glad to have you here.
It's been good.
Yes, it's been awesome. Okay, we already talked about that. So then what is your favorite thing about Cheyenne?
That's a good question. I like the essence of Cheyenne, right? I like that it's a small town, but it's not too small, and it's not a big city. There's no traffic. It's like a blue collar town, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just a lot of workers, a lot of people, just a lot of good people that are just trying to live their lives and raise families, and that's what really drew me to Cheyenne.
Yeah,
so.
I love that.
That's why I like it too. So we have been sharing people's like jump stories, and a lot of them I've thought about you because Markum is like an avid reader. So he reads a lot of books, and he has shared some of them with me, and a lot of ones about like making decisions and jumping and just like going all in and doing something. And I thought during one of the interviews today, I thought about, remember the book? It's like 5, 4, 3, 2, decide. Like make a decision. It's right. I can't remember if it's 3, 2, 1, but it's something like that. And we talked about when you're making a decision with real estate and stuff, sometimes you just have to like take a leap of faith and go with it. So do you want to tell the story about CrossFit Cheyenne and how you got to where you are today?
Yeah, it's a cool story. So came here in 2012. I was at the PD. Chrissy was with the city of Cheyenne I think she was an aquatics coordinator, something like that. Didn't work out. It didn't work out. So we were brainstorming one night soon after she left the job, and she'd been a CrossFit coach while we were in the military, nonprofit, CrossFit Cherry Point. and she's really good at coaching. Like she's really good. So
I'm
it's
really
like,
good at CrossFit.
she's really good at CrossFit. So I was like, hey, let's figure out how to start our own business. And we wound up going in with Bria and Bryce Restivo. Actually, we rented from you guys in the very beginning, 1210 Logan. And we were there from 2000. So 10-year anniversary is coming up. So it was December 23rd, 2013 is when we opened our doors. We stayed with you guys for about a year. We left there 2015, moved over to 914 West 17th Street. Was there for about 5 years. And then we bought a deal with you, our place where we're at now, 514 West 19th Street, and moved in there 2020-ish. So yeah.
So yeah, that building used to be Pioneer Printing,
Mhm.
and now it's Blacktooth, CrossFit Cheyenne, and Trophy Engraving.
Mhm.
The 3 different businesses in there that each own their own area.
Correct.
So did you have a moment where you decided it was time to leave the police department, or what happened there? Like what?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
So I knew I wanted to be a strength coach for a long time. And it was kind of one of those timing things where if I didn't get off the pot, right? You know the phrase, get off the pot. Then I would still be at the police department. So I was doing that for 10 years. I was with the PD, and I feel like I was a good cop.
You
I
probably
think you
enjoyed
were.
your career a
I
little
did.
bit, right?
I
Because you're
did.
coming from the military
I
and
did. It was-
enjoyed law enforcement.
Law enforcement was good. I
Yep.
enjoyed my time there. But this was something that was one of those things that was talking to me and wouldn't stop. And if I waited another 10 years, which would put me at 20 years at the PD, I wouldn't get started with what I'm doing right now until I was 53, right? I'm 43 now, and I wanted to get started sooner than that. So my passion is strength and conditioning, helping athletes get to the next level. So, I had a conversation with Christy, and I was like, I'm done with the police department. I want to do this. And went for it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big decision.
Huge decision.
Yeah, because
Right.
you're going from the steady income and benefits
Right.
to being an entrepreneur.
Right.
And that's
So
a hard decision to make.
it's scary, right?
Yeah.
So, man, you got the security of getting a monthly paycheck. You get medical insurance. You get eye insurance. You get dental insurance. You got all these. You got this. I call it a pseudo safety net. You got this pseudo safety net, and then you want to take it all away to pursue a dream. So, it was hard in the beginning, and it's still hard in moments. But I feel like I made the right decision. I'm happy with my decision. And we're still kind of in the grinding phase of developing the business, but it looks good. It looks really good. So, yeah.
Tell us about buying that building and renovating it, because it was a printing business, and it
Sure.
was not what it looks like now.
So you got a part in that story too,
Yeah,
right?
but it was a long
So
journey.
that place was a mess.
Yeah.
That place was a mess. We're talking about like HVAC and electrical and old plumbing and walls, and it was just a mess. And it took a help of you and a lot of other people to get it to where it's at now, but it turned out really nice, really nice. So
You must have had a vision going into it. Like when
Oh,
you found the property, were you out hunting for a place to
Yeah,
do this?
we
And
were
you
at
guys,
914 West 17th Street, and that area was on a decline. So had a conversation with the missus, and came to the conclusion that we need to make a change. We need to move, and that's when we got in contact with Lindee, and Lindee found the place. And just to give you a backstory, my wife is risk adverse, very risk adverse, right?
Yes.
and we've been talking a little bit today
There's
about
usually one spouse that is,
yes,
and one spouse that's like, let's go, and the other one's like, yeah, I think I feel comfortable with this.
but that's stretching
scared,
and
yes.
getting outside of your comfort zone.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So it took the help of you and your mother to talk to Christy, because I'm all in. I'm like, whatever, let's roll the dice. Let's make it happen. But it took the help of you and your mother talking to Chrissy to make it happen. And to answer your question, the vision I had, I don't know if it's a gift or not, but I could sit in a place and I can kind of see how I want it to turn out before it turns out. And that's what I did. When we first walked into the place, looked nothing like what it is right now, like absolutely nothing, right? There were walls, it was, like I said, HVAC and conduit and everything everywhere. And you walk in and there was a wall probably 20 feet from the entrance and went all the way across east to west. And you walk past it, and then there's this large space, but off to the right or to the east was just these rooms, and I could see the office, I could see the kids area, I could see the bathrooms, I could see before we even put it up. I was like, this is the place, let's do it. And we wound up making the deal happen.
And it was 2020, so that added another curveball because they were closing right when COVID hit. And it was a scary time because everybody was scared and they didn't know what was happening and everything was shutting down. And they're trying to buy a building and run a business, and they shut gyms down. I mean, when everything shut down, it was like Christy was like, this is a terrible idea.
So I'm actually glad to talk about this a little bit, because some of the other stories that we've heard today, it's like everybody makes the jump and then they don't even look back. They're just so grateful, so thankful, moving forward. All is sunshine and rainbows, right? Like we're moving forward, and not that there aren't problems along the way, but I would have to imagine in this moment when the whole world is shutting down, where you're having a moment of panic or like worry, did we do the right thing?
Sure. I think it takes hard conversations with people. I had a good conversation with Deb about this.
She's a good cheerleader.
Oh, she's more than a cheerleader. She's a confidant. So
yes.
I get, she's a person that kind of, her path was, I don't know if it was similar, but she wound up working her way to where she's at now. And I'm sure she had some struggles along the way, right? So she can empathize with where I was at the time in my life. And it was just one of those things where get off the pot, right? It's make a decision. Yes, COVID is getting ready to kick off. Yes, real estate is drying up. Yes, the prices were good though. I mean, that's one good thing about it. The prices were great, but looking at the future, was the business going to last going into an unknown situation like that? Was it? And that was the scary part, right? We're even though it was a good deal, we're investing money into a future that was really, really uncertain and really scary because of the global condition at the time, right? So talking to your mom and having a candid conversation about where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do. I was already in, but helping her persuade Christy was the key. So we made it happen.
So were you able to open, like how long of a pause did there have to be?
There wasn't really, because they were at that other location.
We're at the other location and I had a ton of work to do. And and I was,
so you were able to keep working even though the world was shut down a little bit.
Yeah. So I would
2 weeks.
I would get off. I was working mids at the time. And that's 10 p.m. to 8 a.m. At the PD. I would get off the PD and I would work 3-4 hours at the gym before I would go home and go to sleep. And I did that for months, 3-4 months. And I, like I said, I had help from a lot of people. Shout out to good old Kevin Walden, who helped me with that. He was my GC on that project and made sure like all the I's were dotted and the T's were crossed. So yeah, so
because it's a learning curve when you do stuff like that. I mean, permits and and making sure bathrooms are the right size. I mean, there's so many things we all learned that we had no knowledge of before.
And getting things up to code and
because that building was not in code at all. So everything had to be brought up to code. And like you said, that learning curve was stressful.
Was Blacktooth in there at that point?
They were in there. They were remodeling at the same time.
Okay.
They were at the tail end and we were at the beginning.
Okay.
So yeah.
Which was nice because it was you could kind of like ask questions, and like some of the stuff like fire sprinklers and things you had to kind of coordinate. And that's the other thing that's unique is it's not a standalone building, it's attached to other things.
Yeah.
So we had doors they had to close off.
Mhm.
And yeah, the sprinkler system is like in your building.
Yeah, the wherever they do their monthly checks for the sprinkler system is in our building. So yeah, we get people check it. We just had them in there yesterday, checking I guess whatever it is they do, the pressure, whatnot. So
Yeah.
So how much time passed from the moment you signed on the dotted line to being up and going?
it's probably somewhere around 8 months to a year.
Wow.
Yeah. So staying diligent.
Impressive.
Oh, but one thing that did work in your advantage during COVID
Is that
was, I think, was people weren't meeting at like the city and stuff, and there were different things with permits. And so like one time Markum had to meet the permit guy like in a parking lot somewhere.
Oh yeah. What was
that? Because
I can't think of his name right now.
everything was shut down and nobody was doing things the way they used to.
You couldn't be in confined spaces or things like that.
No, so they like did things different. And
the permit cycle was ridiculously. It was accelerated, right? So nobody was doing anything. So
it happened quicker.
So I could get things done like that, right? I didn't have to wait for the whole process. I can't think of the guy's name, but yeah, we did. I needed a permit for. Can't think exactly what it was, but we met over by Sapp Brothers, and got all squared away there. And he took it into the office. I got my permit, and I was off and running. So yeah, that worked out for me.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of things that
Worked out.
it was one of those things like that. When something's, and I don't want to use this phrase lightly, when something's meant to be, things kind of start to align themselves.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what happened. Like things worked out. Things that shouldn't have worked out. And I think it's because we trusted the process. We just did. There's no control in that situation.
Right. You're just putting one foot in front of the other,
That's it.
making decisions as you go.
That's it.
Yep.
Day by day, and one decision at a time. If something doesn't go our way, we kind of reassess, and we find a way to get it done. And that's what we did.
You have to be at peace with that.
That's it. And that's a scary process for a lot of people. So
Yeah.
this was a scary process for everybody, myself included. So, but it's just one of those things that you just got to have faith that you made the right decision, and you got to push on.
Did you have any sleepless nights, or were you able to kind of work through that process that you're talking about? Like, how did that go for you?
I was so tired from working. I really didn't have.
You don't know that you were delirious the whole time.
My diet was crap, but I slept good. Right, I ate a lot of protein bars and energy drinks.
Sure.
And I lost. I don't know how much weight I lost.
A lot of weight.
I lost a lot of weight. Yeah, I lost a lot of weight during that time. I just didn't eat. I worked. I just worked until I got it to the vision I saw in my head. So, and it, like you said, it worked out.
We've heard people talk a little bit today about kind of getting it up off the ground, right? Getting your dream up off the ground, and sort of the sacrifice in terms of like, you're not taking vacations, you're not taking time off, you're just sort of laser focused to make that dream happen. How did that look for you in terms of, it was the pandemic, so nobody was really going on vacation during that time, but like time with your family, or were you incorporating them into what you were doing? How did that look?
That's a great question. My fault as a human being is I work too much. I've been criticized of that, which I rightfully own up to. But I do try to incorporate. So the whole dream is, right? The whole dream is Lumen Athletics specifically, which I love to do, is for my kids and the other athletes in Cheyenne, right? So right now I get to train my boy 3 times a week. He wakes up with me at 4 a.m. Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, and we go into the gym and train. All because I spent time to build this place on the front end. Yeah. So the work I put in on the front end is actually helping me spend time with my boy, right? And I get to teach him lessons that I wish I would have learned at his age as an athlete. So So yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that's how it worked out.
Well, just so you know, I mean, it sounds like you're kind of being hard on yourself for working too much, but that's been the thread today of everybody that we've talked to that has a jump story is you're putting your nose to the grindstone and it's not forever.
Right.
I think that's the thing to for our listeners, right? Like it's not a forever thing, but it's a sacrifice that has to happen right now to get us ahead.
Absolutely.
You know, what do they say? 6 months of hard laser focus can put you years ahead in life. And it sounds like that's certainly the way for you.
Yeah. And it's not over. I mean, you don't know when you have a plan on when you want to transition and kind of start delegating responsibilities, but even that date is blurry, right? So you just work until you can put yourself in a situation where you can delegate to someone else, and then you could take a step back and breathe and then spend more time with family or do some of the things you wanted to do. So I don't, in my mind, it's really no end. It's just when I get there, I get there, and I'm okay with that. So
That's pretty awesome.
So that kind of ties in with tell us just like what you guys are doing at CrossFit Cheyenne and some of the stuff you have going on, and more about Lumen Athletics.
So the business, we're evolving. I think as a business, any businessman knows that if you don't adapt or evolve with the times, then you're doomed to fail. So we've kind of taken on some new things now. We're taking on challenges, right? So we've never done challenges before, and we've been taking on people with no CrossFit experience, and we've been bringing them to CrossFit and helping them learn about CrossFit. And in the process, they've been feeling better and losing weight and different things of that nature, teaching them how to eat well. And majority of the people that have signed on with us with the challenge has continued on and found out that they love CrossFit, they love the community, and they
love how it's changed their life.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's changed my life. When I met Markum, it's embarrassing, really. My mom made me go to CrossFit.
She did. I don't know the story.
She did.
Okay.
So Krista and I don't remember if you were you? Oh, Krista and Alyssa were doing CrossFit and they loved it. And they were like, you'll love it. And I've always loved working out.
Okay.
I ran half marathons. I did spinning. I've done, you name it, I've done it. And I love it. But I had just had a baby. I did not feel good about myself. I was uncomfortable, and my mom's like, come try CrossFit. And I was like, no. So she went and bought me CrossFit shoes because I like shoes, and she thought if she gave me shoes, I would for sure wear them and show up, right?
Mom.
So she shows up with these shoes, and she's like, we're doing CrossFit. And then Markum was the coach, and it was like an introductory class. They called it like an on-ramp where you learned all of the things.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember at one point it was like a plate that was like 4 inches tall, and Markum was like, jump onto the plate, like both feet off the ground, jump on the plate. And I literally would not do it.
Was this at Seoul?
Yes.
Now jumping is kind of a big deal.
It is. It's a scary thing, right?
Is.
And I was like, I can't do that. And I was
I remember the story as you talking. It's coming back to me. Yeah.
30 years old.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because I'm I've been doing it 10 years. Yeah, 30 years old. They're like 30, 31 years old.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, I can't do that. And I was just like uncomfortable. I'm like, I hate it. I'm not doing it. And look at me now. I mean, I can jump onto the box. I can do all the things. But it's like that getting out of your comfort zone.
Absolutely.
And doing things and knowing you can do them if you set your mind to it.
Yeah.
There's nothing like exercise to help you to help stretch you out of your comfort zone.
yeah.
Oh, for sure.
And doing things that
yeah,
you didn't think you could do.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. I found over the years in fitness, I found that when you learn a lot about people, especially new people that come into the gym. You learn a lot about their mindset, and it's for me. And I found out doing this challenge, right? People that have never done CrossFit before, they come in with low self-esteem. They come in just no plan, lost. I need help, and then they have these things that they don't want to do, right? Like for you, it's box jumps.
Mm-hmm.
And to help them
but I don't want to do burpees, but I don't want to jump around.
Right.
Yeah.
And to help
them, I can't
help them overcome those moments is super like for me, it gives me like I love it. Right. So that's kind of one of those things that that brings me joy, that brings me happiness, that fulfillment when it comes to like CrossFit and even my athletes at Lumen Athletics.
Yeah, I'm sure like the athletes accomplishing whatever goals they have, getting into a certain college, getting a team on a team. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I just had one of my athletes. He pulled. I think he's a sophomore. He just deadlifted 400 pounds yesterday.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So it was crazy. He came in. I think he deadlifted 315, 305, and just yesterday he pulled 400.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
So that's super cool to see, right?
Mm-hmm.
See the growth in your athletes.
And it's something that kids need, right? Because I don't know. I think back, I wasn't really an athlete. That's why I also probably lacked confidence of like things that take coordination. But I don't remember athletes doing like training.
Right.
You didn't like strength train and you just went to basketball practice or whatever in practice.
Right.
And it takes more than that.
Yeah, especially this day and age.
Yeah.
Right. The modern athlete is ridiculous. The modern athlete is physical,
doing everything,
fast, strong, right, smart. And to have a place where you can send your athlete to get bigger, faster, stronger, smarter, more confident, it's something that's needed. Mm-hmm. It's needed, especially if, to have an opportunity to play at the college level was great. I played at San Jose State at Division I baseball, and having an opportunity to play there was awesome. So seeing kids have dreams to play at Vandy or Oregon or wherever, it's awesome to set those goals now when they're young in high school, and then see them work their tails off and have potential to get to those places. Mm-hmm. I love it.
I think you're making a good point. And again, another thing that's been talked about today very interestingly is the importance of coaches, mm-hmm. the importance of mentors, just like you're doing with helping people realize their physical capabilities, mm-hmm. their strengths, building strength, all of that. And the same thing happens with your dreams or your goals, that mm-hmm. you're not sure that you can accomplish something. It seems so big. It seems so daunting or overwhelming. And having a mentor or a coach that can be like, you can do this, you can make this happen. It's just steps. You just got to take steps. And I think about what you're saying, even as it relates to real estate. I mean, we have people all the time that we're working with that, let's say, do want to start a business and they are looking at commercial property, but they're not quite ready to, pull the trigger just yet. Or somebody that wants to, get their dream home, and it can feel impossible. And the thing I'm always saying to everybody is, you don't know what you don't know. Mm-hmm. Go find out what you don't know and then decide if it is something you can accomplish or not. And then even then, if you think you can't, get yourself a coach and they'll walk you through any of it. And it's exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, agreed. Perfectly said.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome. Sounds like you're a good coach.
I like to think so.
Yes, I think so too. What is one piece of advice that you would give listeners who want to walk a similar journey to yours?
That's another good question. And there's a lot of like self-help gurus and videos and any kind of media you want on how to get to those places, right? So, if you wanted to look, it's not hard to find. But if there's one thing that I think that a person needs is just trust yourself, right? And trust, like we talk about taking that leap into the unknown, and a lot of it is what keeps us from doing it is fear. Mm-hmm. But everybody knows their own circumstances. They know their risk tolerance. They know themselves better than anybody else, mm-hmm. right? They know what they can handle, and they know when they're ready. They do. They're the only person that knows when they're ready. And when you know when you're ready, go. Mm-hmm. It's that simple. Is it scary? Absolutely. Are you going to make mistakes? Yep. Are you going to regret it? Sure. Keep going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Keep going is really, I think, the big thing. Because I do think, I think of that image where you got two people digging through the dirt and there's something on the other side. I can't remember what it is. And the one guy doesn't get all the way and he turns back and gives up and goes back to
Yeah.
whatever, I don't know if it's a jail or what it is, like they're digging out or whatever the case is. Actually, I do think there's a story of that at the old state penitentiary. But anyway, and then the bottom is where they keep digging and eventually get out. Like you eventually, if you keep going, you will get there. But I just think sometimes like as I said, it can feel overwhelming.
Yeah. When you can't see the end, it's scary.
Yeah.
But when you change your mind frame to like, I'm just gonna keep going until it happens. And it's just
one day at a time.
It's just a simple shift, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you make that shift, it's just you adapt your life to the circumstance and you just keep going. And it's that simple. So, but you got to trust yourself first.
Was this your first commercial real estate purchase?
Yes.
And was that scary? What was there any difference for you between that and a residential purchase?
No. So for me, I'm not really risk averse.
Okay.
I'm just like, let's go do it.
Yeah.
That's just the way I'm wired.
Sure.
I'm like, I'll figure it out. So for me, it was like I said, we connected with Lindee, looked at the place, saw it. It's like, and when I remember walking in there, it was like, this is it. This is the place.
Yeah.
And I just trusted that.
And you must have had a lender that was kind of cheering you on as well, or helping you sort through how to make that work. Or no?
No, nothing sticks out as a lender being a cheerleader.
Or in terms of laying out the possibilities. Yay, nay.
No. It was like I said, it was during COVID, so it was. Yeah, nothing sticks out as a lender being a cheerleader. So
okay. They can be. I mean,
they can be, yeah.
Yeah, they can absolutely.
I think we just kind of figured that out afterwards.
Yeah.
We found the place and like, all right, now we'll figure out the rest.
Yeah.
Which is actually counter to what we typically advise, right? Like you go get the funding first and then. Well, I kind of wonder with commercial.
I had some capital, right? So I had some capital.
Oh, okay.
To put some money down. So I moved some money around.
That definitely helps.
Yeah, yeah, big time. Mm-hmm. And I was able with the money I had and the timing and the global conditions, like buying that building wasn't difficult. And the owner was trying to get rid of it. So it was just like I said, it lined up.
Perfect storm.
It lined up, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So and we took advantage, and we come up on our 10-year anniversary,
which we're having a party for.
Yes, we are.
Well, it makes me think then, you said December 23rd.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just trying to think of a date then that we can kind of celebrate you and your business with this podcast in terms of timing of airing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be awesome.
We'll drop it on December 23rd?
We might have to.
Might have to.
I'm trying to think, what is the 23rd?
I believe it's a Saturday.
Is it a Saturday?
Yeah.
So maybe that Thursday.
It's a Saturday because we're having a party on a Saturday.
So maybe that Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys drop every Thursday?
Tuesday and
every
Thursday.
Tuesday and Thursday.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So we'll schedule yours for that Thursday.
Yeah, that would be awesome. If you could purchase property anywhere in the world, where would it be and why?
Anywhere in the world.
We're just asking everyone that question. It's interesting to see what people are saying.
I don't have a specific location. I have an ideal location in my mind, right? So it's not a specific place. It's mountains, lake. I don't know if this is gonna be telling the kind of person I am, but solitude, right? So
I think you're in good company here.
Yeah. So I'm thinking like a nice cabin-ish, modern style cabin and I can see the lake right out the front door with a dock, and then beyond the lake there's mountains, and I'm like in this valley, and it's all like pine and lush forest, and it's just peaceful and beautiful. So wherever in the world that is, that's where I want to be.
Well, I think you might be kind of in the right place. I mean,
well,
close. Anyway.
Not on the east side of the state. I'm here on the west side of the state. It's a little more like that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the east side is definitely a little more flat.
Yeah, prairie and
I do wish there was more lakefront property in Wyoming. That would be really
that'd be
amazing.
sweet.
I know.
That would be sweet.
It'd probably be at the top of my priority list.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't really exist here.
So what kind of answers you guys been getting on that one?
Well, what's been interesting is I thought a lot of people would pick like a vacation place, but everyone's kind of picked where they would want to live.
Right.
I would want to make this my home.
Right.
And not far from here.
And not far from what they're doing.
Yeah.
Right.
My mom's was similar to yours.
Okay.
She was saying she picked a specific property. She knows where it is.
Oh, really?
It already exists.
Wow. Okay.
We did take a picture of that and put it on like a vision board of some
She was
kind
like
for
right
her.
there. I'm like, oh, well, let's knock on the door.
Let's knock on the door.
Are you selling?
Are you selling? Please?
Hello.
Let's think big here.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, let's make it happen. So yeah, it's been kind of, most people have been like practical. Nobody's really said Ireland or, somewhere.
Well, my place could be very well in Ireland. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be. Yours could be anywhere.
It could be anywhere. So I like snow that falls straight down.
You don't like the
Not
blowing
sideways.
sideways?
And there's a purpose for it, but if I was thinking my ideal home, the snow goes straight down. Always.
Well,
So.
then maybe not Wyoming.
No, not Wyoming.
Not Wyoming.
Not the east side of Wyoming, at least. I don't know if it's that windy on the west side of Wyoming. Is it pretty windy
The
over there?
central, no, I can tell you that the central part of the state is still pretty windy.
Yeah.
The western part, I guess my thought is there's still some wind, but maybe not quite like, the mountains east,
Sure.
right? There's definitely the wind. So I've spent a bit of time on the west side of the state, but I can't remember if it's any more or less windy than here.
Huh.
Maybe I'm just used to it.
Sure.
So
We are. Definitely. Well, thank you, Markum, for sharing your story.
Yes.
Is there anything else that you wanted to add that we didn't ask you?
Come check us out at CrossFit Cheyenne.
Yeah.
If you have young athletes that are aspiring to play at the next level, come check me out at Lumen Athletics. I would love to meet your athlete and help them get to the next level. And for parents, go see my wife at CrossFit Cheyenne. She'll whip you in shape.
Yeah. And New Year's coming with your resolutions. So some people like to set goals, and I think it's a good thing. I don't like doing it because I don't know, it just puts too much pressure.
So I'm not
But
a
it's good.
believer in resolutions. If you're gonna start, it's what is today. Today is the
Yeah.
7th. You need to show up today, right?
Yes.
Show up today and let's start making some good habits right now.
I agree.
Don't wait for any time.
Right.
The right time.
Because there's never a right time. The right
There's
time is
always something. There's always a holiday, a party,
Always.
something after that.
always make right now your right time. That's it. Let's go do it.
Yeah.
So
Maybe that's where that 3-2-1 thing comes in. 3-2-1. I'm getting out of bed. I'm going
No.
to
Do it. Don't think
I'm
about
going
it.
I'm going to CrossFit.
I read a lot of books. I don't remember that book, but
It was something with a countdown and just like make the decision.
yeah,
I want
What's
to.
your initial?
Is it Mel Robbins?
that's what I want to say.
She's the one that
yeah.
talks about that a lot. Where
Uh-huh.
you just go 3, 2, 1, and then boom.
I
you
think
do whatever it
it's
is.
Mel
you
Robbins'
say
book.
I
whatever
think it
is.
was.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you want a 3, 2, 1 and buy real estate,
Yes.
Rhea and I are your girls.
Well, there you go. I
That's
like
right.
Yeah,
I like that
we help
transition.
people buy and sell real estate. We'd love to help you.
Absolutely.
That's good.
And you can find us on www.sellcheyenne.com as well as all the social media platforms. So yeah, come find us and visit CrossFit and maybe celebrate their 10-year anniversary with them here
Come on down.
in a week or two.
Yeah.
So
Thank you for coming.
Thank you guys for
Yes,
having me.
thank
This was
you.
fun.
I want to tell you that I really like the athletic, the youth athletic, like helping them get to the next level. I'm from Gillette.
Okay.
And so my youngest son, I've been here for a few years now, but my youngest son, who's 23, about to be 24, was on the varsity soccer team in high school and then went on to play college soccer
Nice.
just for the community college.
Nice.
Anyway, all the kids were like going to camps and stuff. And I think camps are great. You know, there's a time and a place for them. But I looked at my son one day and I'm like, let's improve your skill ability. Like, let's get you, instead of worrying about going to sporting camps, let's get you into a trainer.
Yeah.
And so up in Gillette, it's called, I forget the name of it, but it is a athletic performance enhancing program that's attached to like a physical therapy place. And so he went, and he's a defender. He was a defender in soccer, and he improved his vertical jump to 36 inches as the defender, and went on to have just a rock star senior year, and went on to college and started in his college years as well. So I'm a full advocate for athletes, young athletes that want to do that, take it to the next level, because it is about the fundamentals, the skills, the ball handling, things like that. But it does come down; those things come from confidence, and it comes from strength and overcoming your physical, the limitations you have in your mind. And so I haven't known if there was a place like that. I mean, my kids are grown, so it doesn't matter, but I haven't known if there was a place like that here in Cheyenne. So I will be forever touting your program.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep. Because it was a huge benefit for my son to do that.
You make an awesome point. I mean, a lot of parents, they want to take their kids to the camps and the showcases, and a lot of kids are just not ready. Right. And taking them wherever you want to take them, but as far as like strength and conditioning and building up their bodies and their minds, right? The confidence you just explained, super huge. So if a kid takes, let's say, a season of showcases and camps off and commits that time to developing their bodies and their minds, they go to the next round of showcases and camps. They're bigger, stronger, faster, smarter athlete, a lot more confidence. Right? They're bigger than their competitors now. They're faster than their competitors now, right?
And the coaches are taking notice.
They see that, right? So for all you parents out there, get your kids into the strength program. Right? It's important. It's super important. So,
and I would think even if your child isn't, has a starting position or on the varsity team, to speak to what you're saying, I mean, junior high and high school is already hard enough. Right. And so if you have a place to go to, I mean, we all know exercise helps with mental health anyway, but you go and just I just think building muscle builds courage, builds strength, right? Like you look in the mirror, got this. And I think it just helps. Then the way you carry yourself and the way that you approach life. And I just think it's a good avenue, if your child is kind of floundering a little bit through secondary school, to give that a whirl. I mean, it helps all of us.
Huge. Huge. Even the kids that are not as coordinated, right? But they still have a passion to play sports. A good strength and conditioning program will help your athlete get to the next level of just confidence. And like, confidence is huge in their performance. And you find the right coach that can help your kid become more confident in their ability to, let's start off picking up a weight and moving a weight and then running faster and then jumping higher. That same confidence carries over to the swimming pool, the basketball court, the baseball field, wherever. And now you got a different athlete performing, right? So,
and maybe their athleticism just becomes being a CrossFitter.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
If they don't do a sport in high school, they can be a CrossFitter.
Just learning that to take care of your body, and that's part of life.
Sure.
And making it a part of your routine.
So,
the body is the vessel. So how you
body-mind connection.
How are you going to use it? That's the question.
Occasionally, I like to use mine for some, good eating. I do enjoy food every now and then.
Food should be enjoyed.
Yes.
But we gotta
you gotta learn how to use the correct foods.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Absolutely. You shouldn't be. You should enjoy life. You should eat good foods. Foods is a great time to spend with family, and it's a great experience. But when food becomes your crutch and becomes your comfort, then that can be a problem. So
completely agree.
So
all right. Well, thank you.
Thank you guys.
It's
Appreciate
been a real
you.
Pleasure.
Do you want to take a picture of us?
This episode of Beyond the Front Door is brought to you by Peak Properties in Cheyenne, Wyoming. With over 75 years of combined experience in real estate, it's our goal to help clients buy and sell and save by providing the information you want and the professional services you expect. Let us help you with your residential, commercial, HUD, income-producing properties, as well as vacant land and rental needs. To learn more, visit www.sellcheyenne.com.